Hi, I'm Dia and you guys are watching Dianosaur. So today I'm gonna do something different. Today I'm gonna talk about my star rating, like how I rate books. So first thing I want to tell you is that yes, I do star ratings. Star ratings help me, like put into concrete terms how I felt about the book, because if I were to suggest someone a book, if I were to give them an elevator pitch, I would be like, okay, this was a five-star book for me. I absolutely loved it. I won't be able to get into the nitty-gritty of the book, but if I say five-star, the person will actually know that, like I absolutely loved the book and I didn't find any fault with the book. So if I were to, tell someone about a book in a very short time, I will give them my rating. And if I were to, like write my blog review, or uh, if I were to do a review on my channel, if I say, okay, I gave this book this many stars, you guys will know what to expect. That you guys will have an idea, okay, so she felt that this book was good, or this was bad, or this was in the middle. So that's why I give star ratings. There are many people, my eyes are watery again. Kajal and my eyes don't go well together, but beauty is pain. So um so that's why I give star rating. Some people, they don't give star ratings because they don't, you know they think that books can't be rated as such. Like they are like, ratings are so subjective, so what is even the point of rating? And that's why they don't give five ratings at all to books. So that is a valid opinion, but my opinion is of a different sort. Like, I recommend books a lot, and if I were to recommend something in a very short amount of time, which, yeah, people are not gonna listen to you go on for hours and hours about what was, what worked for you, what did not work for you. So you just tell them your rating. So that's the way I see things. That's why I rate books. On what basis I rate my books? I rate my books on my personal enjoyment basis. I Many people out there, they rate based on the plot, character, the world building, writing, all these things. But I am not, at least in the past, I was not such a critical reader. I read for enjoyment, and I gave ratings, based on how I enjoyed the book. Now, did I completely disregard the plot, character, world building, and other things that people, take into consideration while reading the books? No, you know, even I felt, I looked out, for how the plot is carried out, or how the characters are built, or how the world building is, explained to the reader and all that. But these were secondary to me. So why I'm saying these were, because right now I have started my YouTube channel, and I am reviewing books for other people. Before, I used to read and rate books for myself, and now I'm doing it for other people. And I know other people, they would want to know about all these aspects of a book. So when I'm rating the book, these days I am taking into consideration all the different, technical aspects of the book. But still, my primary rating, like, immediately when I finish reading the book, I have a rating in my mind. I'm like, okay, this was a X star book for me. And then I'll go through all these things, how well did it do this point or that other point. And after, thinking for a bit and sitting with the book for sitting with the rating for a moment, because I have this habit, right after finishing a book, I will be, riding the high wave and all that. And I will feel like this book is, so good, and I would want to give it a higher rating than it actually is. And so I sit with my rating for a while, I think about it, and then I rate. So that's my rating process. Now also, I don't give every book. Okay, so how do I explain this? A 5-star fantasy and a 5-star romance are not the same 5-star to me. So I rate books based on how well the book is doing what it set out to do. So if the book's motto aim was to be a cozy fantasy and very low stakes, so god, today of all days, everyone is, like, is the light changing? Whenever the charge goes down, the light starts changing, and today the charge is low, so it might change. Anyway, so what was I talking about? For example, if a book has set out to be a cozy fantasy and it did everything right, for a cozy fantasy, it had a cozy atmosphere, it had, like, wholesome characters, the writing was, uh maybe not like highbrow literature level, but it was, it went well with the theme of the book or the tone of the book, and so that book will get a 5-star from me. But if uh suppose a theme heavy book, a book that set out to explore so many themes and uh you know uh talk about important stuff, all these things, that book did not do very well, did not do a good job of tackling those themes. For example, the storytelling was kind of off, the prose was too verbose or something like that, for my enjoyment, and did not serve the book very well, and all these things. So even if that book, like, people will like, this book is trying to tackle different topics, so this book should be, like, it is more difficult to write a theme heavy book than a cozy fantasy, so the theme heavy book by default should get a higher rating. To me, I don't think that. I think about books which set out to do specific things, and how well they do that thing, that matters to me. So a 5-star fantasy book and a 5-star romance book, to me, they are completely different. Like, my 5-star rating scale is, it changes from genre to genre mostly, and also from age range to age range. So a 5-star middle grade fantasy and a 5-star adult fantasy, both will be different. Like, for example, people, just because something is middle grade, they won't rate it more than 4 stars or something, because they think that it's easier to write. It had, like, uh less of a responsibility to get the things right, so that's why it will get a lower rating. And but to me, I'm like, middle grade, it is its own category, and it will get 5-star if it does everything it set out to do right. That is, how I basically rate my books. And let's talk about the star rating system. So 1 star is a book that made my blood boil, and I wanted to turn the book into a thonga. If you don't know what a thonga is, go to my videos, and you will see a video called Did this book Does this book deserve to be a thonga? So that is a 1-star book, but I very rarely get 1 stars, like, give out 1 stars, because I usually DNF. So if I'm hating the book, I will DNF it, and that's why I don't give out many 1 stars. So 2 star is something that I hated, but not enough to turn it into a thonga. I mean, it had problems, glaring problems, but it was still, I mean, better than a one star book. I mean, obviously, it's better than a one-star book. It still had some moments that I felt like, were worth my time. So, that is a two-star book. Three-star is the most difficult star for me because three star is three stars can be either a disappointment, like I was maybe probably looking forward to reading this book for a while and I was expecting it to be a five-star, but it turned out to be really bad. uh it turned out to be not really bad, but it turned out to be not five-star worthy, and I'll give it a three stars. And also sometimes some books that are not exactly bad, like not terrible but not memorable either, like I'll read it and I'll forget about it like the moment I get done with the book. So these kind of books I give three stars. So to me, I would rather read a two-star than a three-star, because three stars are so meh, like they don't make any impression on me. And yeah, I hate three stars more than two stars. Like two stars at least makes me feel emotions. I don't want to be like a zombie while reading a book. I don't want to be, just okay with a book. I want to feel strong emotions. And a two-star book which makes me feel strong emotions is better than a three-star book. Like at least I can rant about a two-star book. A three-star book, what will I rant about? Like it was so boring that it made me sleep. Anyway, so now we come to four-star book. Four-star book is basically a five-star book but with one glaring problem or multiple small problems that added up to a glaring problem. So for example, if I'm really liking a book but this one character is really annoying and the way it was handled was not good, I will give it four star. So four stars basically books that are okay. So in order to explain how four stars work, I'll have to explain how five-star works. So five-star is basically any book that I didn't have any problem with. Like I had a great time reading. I did not have anything to complain about it, and I feel that this book will stay with me for a long time. So I I give out five stars, like Moody Mudki. Moody Mudki is basically uh sweet snacks kind of thing, a sweet food item. And like giving out Moody Murki is like giving out candy, like you give out to everyone when you're giving it out. So there's a term called five stars trumpet, and I think it was coined by Alan from Library of Alexandria. Uh, I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. Let me know who coined the term. So, I'm a five-star trumpet. I am a five-star trumpet, and uh, I give out five stars like crazy. Like every book I read, if I have no problem with it, it will be five star. So that makes four stars a little bit interesting. So four stars will be something that I feel okay, this uh is too frivolous to get a five star from me, or this is like this had one glaring problem that made it difficult for me to give it a five star. Or sometimes after a while, after the the high has worn off, uh the high after reading a book has worn off, after a while I will be like, okay, I need to change the rating and I need to make it a 4 because it's not that good upon reflection. So that is basically a 4 star for me. So these are my star ratings. I also give point 0.5 because sometimes I'll be like, I can't choose between 4 or a 5, so I'll just give it a 4.5. Or sometimes it is good, like as good as a 5 stars, but I just can't give this book 5 stars because that will mean I'm giving every book a 5 star, so I'll give it a 4.5 star. So that's basically how it works. So 3.5 star is basically a 3 star, but I was feeling too bad, giving the book a 3 star, so I, like bumped it up to 3.5. So that's how I rate. Like I rate. Okay, it's so good to, like talk with my hands again because the mic is not here. So I give ratings purely based on my feelings. And now I have started, to make a conscious decision to move away from that, to become more critical in my ratings. So because I have a platform now, and I will be doing, like, will be recommending books to other people, and I don't want to, like oversell every book that I read. So I will be a bit more critical from now on. So yeah, and that's it. That it was a very short video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys found it, like illuminating. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.